Hello. Good to be here again. Last year when we were here, we were talking to you about which color Jaguar to buy. And yesterday we were riding on the parkway in a white one. Thought you'd like that. We have experienced great success in practicing these principles. It's just phenomenal, and have had a lot of fun today sharing with a couple people about that. And I'm wondering a couple things. One, I'm in the development business in one of the best real estate markets in the country, and it's a lot of opportunity, and it's gone from 0 to 500 miles an hour, and it's really great. Sometimes it's very overwhelming.
Because?
Well, because along with success comes responsibility.
Are you obligated to take on more than you can comfortably handle?
I'm not obligated to. I guess I'm challenged to. I can't say no sometimes.
The reason that we're playing with you just a little bit is because there can be a little shortage mentality that goes something like, we need to make hay while the sun shines. That goes like, the market isn't always this good, and we need to gear up and be able to ride it while it is this good in case the bottom falls out of it and it doesn't stay this good. And so we need to do more than we can comfortably do right now. We're following up on your word overwhelmment.
You're reading my mail.
It's sort of like saying, I'm worried that too many people are being born and that they are going to suck up the oxygen. So I'll get out on my front porch and I'll breathe in all I'll need for the next few days, just in case there isn't enough later. And we say, you don't do that. You just breathe it in as you need it, in and out. When you run, you breathe in more. When you sleep, you breathe in less. In other words, you just take what you need and utilize all you need, knowing that it's always there for you. And when you get in the true understanding of the rhythm of life, which says, when you ask, it is given. And the only thing that ever gets you out of balance is if you're asking for more that you're able to allow. That's when things get out of balance, or when you put unnatural limitations on some aspect of it, you see.
That's good. So I get in this position where maybe I have several projects on my plate, and they're in different stages, and maybe, from the time I locate a piece of property to I decide what I'm going to do to it, to I go to the bank to get the money, a lot of different things can happen. And I don't know when it's the time to do the action journey, or when to say, there's too much resistance on this one. I need to let that go and do something else.
Well, we can tell you when it would be for us.
Okay.
The action would come from a feeling of exhilaration and nothing else. And we would never operate out of pensiveness or guardedness or concern. The action would always be inspired by an enthusiastic urge to act.
So when I first look at something like this, and that first initial reaction, is that a good gauge?
Yes, it is, because you haven't had a chance to overthink it then. And let us explain to you how you can know what your immediate impulse is, or a later impulse, what it's telling you. So you get it. We can feel that you get it, that through all the life you've lived, you have fashioned for yourself a really clear picture of what you want. It is so vivid. No cloudiness. It's vivid. And we see it in its vivid form because we're right there riding it. In other words, the inner being of you has become it. And so there's no confusion about what this future probability for you is, but a now reality for a big part of you is. Today, you're beginning to feel that, aren't you? So here is this vivid, clear picture of what you want. And right along with that clear picture is this overview, this universal manager that knows exactly how it's all going to come together, because law of attraction knows all of the vibrational components and knows the order of them taking form. So it's a sure thing, this thing that you want. And the route to it is varied, but known by the non-physical part of you. So when you are in a proximity and you get an impulse to do something, that's because someone with broader view is giving you the tip. Now, sometimes people say, oh, Esther's lucky because she's got Abraham who can spell the tips out in greater definition. And we say, the best guidance that Esther gets and Jerry gets and all of you get is that impulse that comes forth from within, because it's surer, faster, cleaner, surer, faster, cleaner, surer, faster, cleaner. So now, having said that, when you understand that it's already arranged and that your work is just to listen for the impulse, and you understand that Source is calling, and you understand how good you already mostly feel with your low point being frustration or overwhelmed, then can't you feel that the impulse for you that will be the right one will definitely be one that feels like exhilaration? Inspired action causes you to rendezvous with the elements that bring about the components that give you the results that you want. Motivated actions cause you to rendezvous with things that feel very much like the motivation felt like. Clear enough?
Very. So add a partner, add a business partner who's not at the seminar, never will be. Great guy, but not thinking the same way.
But life working anyway.
Life working anyway, and
Worth noting.
absolutely.
His style works for him, my style works for me. And I'll try not to mess up his style, and I won't let him mess up my style.
So we make joint decisions, and sometimes he brings in a suggestion of a property that I'm not feeling that same enthusiasm for.
Then encourage him to do it on his own. Or does the partnership not allow it?
It can.
Simple solution.
Good.
If you're that sure, add it.
And I need to be that comfortable to.
Because what is the partnership about anyway? We'll tell you. Peace. Insecurity.
On both parts.
Yes. Because, in other words, you're relying on each other to sort of shore up where you don't feel strong. And you know the rest of the story.
Sure.
So when you say, oh, we make really good partners because we approach things differently, so we have a good eye and we sort of cover all the bases. And when we both really agree on something, it's a good property. It goes for us. Jerry talks about it as a youngster pulling a plow behind two mules. And on the rare occasion that they both pulled in the same direction at the same time, it was a lovely trip down the field. But when they're pulling against each other, it was pretty miserable for a little boy. And it's sort of like what often partners do to each other. When you get in concert, you are lovely to be together. But unless you are in concert, you are detrimental to the outcome. We are not in any way discouraging partnerships because we think it's lovely, the contrast that it stirs up and the new ideas that are born from it. We think that a partnership is better than singular creating any day of the week. We are not recommending a ceasing of partnership. But when you feel that something is going in a direction that doesn't feel like it's inspired within you, then don't discourage them from doing it. Just say, I don't have a good feeling about this, but I'd be joyful to see you follow through with this and get the success that you want. But I'm afraid I will throw cold water on it the way I feel. I don't think I'll be helpful if you involve me. Can't you sort of feel that? Have you ever had an idea that felt like a good idea and you shared it with someone who just threw cold water all over it? And you sort of wish you hadn't told them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're paying attention to what they're saying, then now your energy's all challenged. Yes. So look for the positive aspects of partnership and release anything that does not feel good. So it's sort of a dance you do where you stay as optimistic as you can while not trying to micromanage it all that much either. A little more trusting and a little less trying to make it happen.
Okay.
Come to our dimension where there is not time, and we will all play endlessly together. You don't need Esther for an interaction with that which is your source. You have direct contact. You have direct access. For you are non-physical energy here focused in this physical body. So how do you feel? Pretty darn good. Liberated, maybe even. Eager. Can feel eagerness. We can feel relief and eagerness and awareness and optimism. We can feel appreciation and love. We can feel determination. We like that. That's focused intention. We can feel a little hesitancy that is fading quickly and being replaced with a willingness to apply. We want you to leave here feeling empowered about where you stand and happy about where you are no matter where it is. And if not happy, at least peaceful about the temporary nature of where you stand. And we want you to feel willing about reaching for a thought that feels a little better and a thought that feels a little better. If there is any technique that we wish that you master, it would be the forking technique. Because you do it all day, every day, and it deals with how you feel now. And how you feel now is the most significant reason for your point of attraction. How you felt yesterday has to do with how you feel now. But how you feel now is the most significant reason for your vibrational offering. How you feel now is influenced by how you feel yesterday, just as how you feel yesterday is influenced by how you felt the day before. But how you feel now is not controlled by how you felt yesterday or how you felt the day before. How you feel now is controlled by your willingness to focus. So, as you decide that you can move because you are constantly towards something that just pleases you when you get there and feels good along the way, or you can move towards something that's not going to please you when you get there and doesn't please you along the way, as you get that you have those choices and you make those choices simple choices, not complicated choices, you regain the power of your experience and you begin the molding experience, the molding of the clay of the life experience that is you. We really do make all of this too complicated by our endless babbling on and on. Life is supposed to be good, and it would be if you stopped doing that thing you do that doesn't feel so good. And we don't think that it could be or should be or really is so complicated to know that this thought feels better than this thought. And we think the thing that has been tripping you up the most is that somehow you've come to believe that you should be able to find the best of thoughts from wherever you are, and that's just not logical. You're not going to transport yourself from Yuma to San Diego, but you can point in the right direction and you can get there. So stop asking the impossible and instead be practical in your day-to-day experience. Live in the world that you live in and reach for the best feeling thought you can find. And show yourself that you can move in the direction of and therefore can eventually get to anything that you want. And begin to feel the increasing of momentum as success after success gives you more and more confidence to reach into more that will please you. And understand that there's always going to be a bigger, better, more obscene everything. You're not going to reach the end of your wanting ever, nor should you. Don't reach for a time of satisfaction. Reach for a feeling of alignment. When you find alignment, you find joy. And when you find joy, you find everything else that you've been looking for. Because there is nothing that you want that is for any other reason than you think you will feel good when you get there. And when you show yourself that you can feel good even before you get there, then you get there faster. But then getting there becomes less important. And when it doesn't matter if you get there because you're joyful now you've returned to who you are. And now you can get on with life. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are
in a bit. ACD.
ACD. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Very being